Güey, hasta la verga, hasta la verga, hasta la verga, hasta la verga. Punto, puto, puto. Traga verga.
The fucking dream team.
So, welcome to the SNP podcast. It's episode 5. I'm your host, Kevin. Let me introduce you, Dave.
Hello.
And Jose.
Lip brisket.
Yeah.
Lip smacking OG.
The
Yeah.
lip smacking OG.
So, we got a couple interesting topics today. I'm going to be talking about how Apple is trying to bring an electric car into the market. We're also going to be talking about Amazon drone deliveries. I know it was talked about a long time ago, but there must be an update on it.
A little bit of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're going to be talking to UFC as usual at the last spot. And then dreams.
Yeah.
So we have a subject about that. But, and black holes. But let me start it off. So what do you guys think that Apple actually, they hired Tesla's vice president of engineering into their company because they're trying to make an electric car. What do you guys feel about that?
Mm-hmm.
So wait, they took away.
Tesla's vice president of engineering.
Why did he leave Tesla? Like, I mean, is there like a reason behind that, or
Bitch shit.
Not.
what'd you say?
Bitch.
Because like, also I heard that that's right that Elon Musk didn't he like release certain patents and stuff so that other companies and stuff can start making smart cars and all that.
Yeah, so there would be a lot more branching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he kind of did it rather than for just making money.
right, which is like awesome.
He kind of just wanted to do it for like a humanitarian thing, because like it's like, why should I be charging for this when this stuff could be
Benefiting the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of reminds me of that one guy. The guy who invented, wasn't it like polio? The guy who invented the cure. I don't know if it was polio that he like didn't. He yeah. Whatever amount of money you want, and he's like, no, I didn't make this to make money. I made this to save lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of that doctor.
Oh,
But
I don't know either. I just remember random things.
that's
I
something.
just remember there was somebody good in the world.
Yeah,
But then there
it
was
reminded me
Kevin.
of that.
Dude.
And then there was Kevin. That's
But-
crazy though.
But yeah, so my thing, I think it's also just kind of just like a, whatchamacallit. They're trying to conglomerate a little bit because, you know,
What
they're,
that word mean? I don't know what that
they're
word
like
means.
branching out into different aspects of a company.
Means
So rather than focusing on one product, they're kind of, a conglomerate is just a bunch of different things. Like, let's say our company also sells soaps, but also our company does this.
Okay.
You know? So that's a conglomerate because they hit different things. Amazon's a conglomerate because
Coca-Cola's a conglomerate.
they.
I wonder if Amazon's gonna jump in there too. Probably.
Well, Amazon is a conglomerate.
Right, but I mean, like,
Are they going
with
to
the
jump
smart
into the
cars.
electric
Oh, I don't
car
know.
again?
Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
They're taking over the world.
Oh yeah.
But
So where was I going?
Have you
with
guys
this?
ever seen that Will Smith movie, I, Robot, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Where like everyone has electric cars that drive themselves.
yeah, that's how it should. I mean, if they did
but
that.
then like he gets on top of a motorcycle and everyone's like, "Is that thing run on gas?"
yeah,
What
yeah.
the fuck? And I
Yeah.
was just like, dude,
What
why
are you
y'all-
driving manual?
Man, it was like, why y'all dissing on my homeboy Will Smith like that? What the hell? He wrote some of
was
the best hits
hilarious.
this world ever seen. Like,
It's like, woo! Ha-ha. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He got jiggy with it.
So like.
That was
Oh, shit.
some good shit down at the.
No, but if Apple made a car though, like they'd probably like, I mean, for sure.
Well, because I don't know, I was gonna try to do this like when we were gonna do show last week, but we, had to take a pause. They came out with a credit card as well.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, so I can see some benefits to it. Like if you're traveling and whatnot, like you don't have to try to configure different currencies and stuff. It'll just work all over the place.
So it's kind of like a backup credit card that doesn't have your numbers on it in case you like lose it or get it stolen.
No. They have their own credit card line.
It's Amazon. Doesn't Amazon have the same shit too?
No, but that's done
shit.
through
Yeah,
Chase.
this is a showdown.
Yeah, it's done through Chase. But Yeah, so I just think it's like Apple's trying to branch out, to bring their stock prices up because, maybe their iPhones aren't doing so hot because a lot of people don't need to upgrade as often. And, I haven't seen a lot of innovation when it comes to their phones.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
It's just like, oh, here's this little thing.
It's got a light now, bro.
Yeah,
Even though I got like the newest one, I shouldn't even be
Kevin's
talking.
never liked Apple.
Dude.
He never even owned an Apple.
Dude, I did.
Once I'm in the produce department, he just started pissing all over the apples.
Shut up.
It was insane. I just heard that.
Dude,
mom
I
and
was an
papa shop,
Apple
dude. That didn't
customer
even-
from the iPhone 4S and 5S.
And then what happened?
And
Who
then
betrayed you? Who hurt you?
who hurt me? They hurt me
Like,
How?
who heard me?
because they didn't have a lot of shit.
Like what?
Like NFC
What is? How's your life
communication.
that important that it needed more shit? What
Dude,
more shit did you?
You see
need?
when I tap my phone on the thing, I'm like, ding, ding. And I paid.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
paid with my phone. They didn't have that for years with
Really?
Apple.
Dude, I can make your phone go ding ding.
Dude.
Why are you
Dude.
doing this? Why are you doing this?
But yeah. So I think it's just because Apple's trying to, make stockholders more enticed.
Whatever happened to the Google cars?
Was that supposed to be?
Wasn't that a thing at one point?
Google
They were
cars?
like trying them out. Am I like totally imagining this?
No, I think they were like automatic cars, but they were only used to map out
Oh.
streets.
Really? I thought they
I don't.
like
I
were
didn't.
trying
I don't
something. at that
remember
point.
them
So-
trying to come out.
Which
of
one was the
car.
car that actually killed somebody? Remember that? It was like an
my
automated
car.
car.
I'm running
don't
away from
talk
the
about
lawn. I
that.
told you to talk about
Gotta
that.
There was
Bringing
like
out
a,
his dirty laundry.
There was a good amount of cars that they said were making mistakes on automatic driving, but I mean it's like most of it was either user error or like people actually crashing into them. They were like, "Oh, another Tesla car got fucking in an accident." I'm like,
Have you
"Dude,
seen the
it
compilation?
Got T-boned by a fucking.
have you seen like the compilations of like Teslas saving lives and shit? Like
really?
there's like a there's like a
What are
program.
you talking about?
There's like a program inside where they can like predict when shit's going down, like 2 cars in front or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you seen
yeah.
that? It's wild.
That'll
Like,
probably stop pileups because I mean, like a lot of
saves
pileups really go
lives.
like about 5-6 in too much because
it's like a little. You just hear like a little bing bing, and it like corrects. Like it immediately starts correcting you. Like it when that sound goes off, like the people know that like, oh shit, like some shit's going down that I can't even foresee. And like there's so many. You should check out the compilations. It's crazy.
My opinion on the whole Apple thing, regardless, has to be that at least I know that with their ability to make phones and kind of innovate the way they have in the past, I would like to see somebody else step up to the plates to try to compete with Tesla. Because, I mean, competition, in my opinion, does create better products.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the negative aspect of that is that, in my opinion, and I would go out and say this like every single time, Apple is known for essentially gouging out for brand names. So it's like, how much more are they willing to charge when Tesla is pretty competitive in pricing, right? So are we going to have essentially like the Apple Android of car? Like, you know what I mean? Where we're like seeing...
I don't know. Tesla's pretty cool.
Tesla's pretty badass, but I mean,
Yeah.
Super
is Apple
expensive,
going to
too.
do something super crazy and just polish it off a little bit more and try to charge double the price? I mean, I would like to see what they were actually going with this.
What would they call it? The iCar?
Oh yeah.
It'd be funny if it was just a big Apple like logo, but it was just on wheels. Not
Wasn't there a
not
cartoon?
aerodynamic at all, but it would just.
Wasn't there a cartoon where it was like a worm inside an apple, and
Yeah.
the apple was like a vehicle? I don't
Was it?
know. I'm sorry. I'm going way back.
Like an apple, and then the worm comes out, and it's the
Yeah.
eye helicopter, and it just flies up, and
fucking
it
flies
goes
up.
flies around. Like, holy shit!
No, but I was gonna say also, isn't there was like a whole conundrum thing where like if there's a crash that's gonna happen and the car has to decide if it's like AI, where it decides like there's 4 people on the side, do I kill those people or do I save the and save the passenger, or kill the passenger and save those people? And it's like, what will the computer decide? Because technically it would be like, oh, I'm gonna give priority to 4 lives over this 1 life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like what would happen there? What's the?
much like the Drake album, I think I choose more life.
It's like iRobot. Remember when Will Smith was in it, his whole drama
It chose
with-
him because he had a bigger
Chance of
chance
living.
of surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I saved him.
This guy. Yeah. So
All right, moving on.
interesting.
Okay, so this not this weekend, but like the past couple days, we've all watched the same movie, Us.
Dude.
Yeah. So like, what's
Where
your
do we land on
impressions
that?
on it?
Let's end it with the rating, and let's also start it with the criticism.
Yeah, that's a.
That
God damn, you
I
like
know, sorry.
destroyed the
I actually-
sound.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, like, the criticisms and what I want to hear your rating. First.
I want to hear y'all rating.
Well, first of all, pros and cons. What did you guys love?
Uh,
did I love?
I loved Enter. I mean, it's not a secret at this point for anybody watching.
Spoiler alert. We should probably
spoiler
throw our
alert.
spoiler
There's gonna be a
alert.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But
spoiler alert now.
Yeah.
Enter the other bad family, aka like originally they set up, all right, there's a family, they enter the scene like they're running away, right? And then the other family in the other house, when the other
Talking about the white family?
yeah, the white family,
Oh, yeah.
when the other essentially like doubles come in,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. That was my favorite part. That's like, all right, this isn't just like a movie about like, oh, there's like doppelgangers of like the certain family. Where's the story? Where's the
It's like a
background?
worldwide thing.
Oh,
or
it's-
not. It's like of that state, right?
Yeah, and it becomes a horror movie to me because I'm like, holy crap, what the hell is going on? Like, there is like people, everyone's exact opposite essentially is like attacking them, or their doppelganger, or their like extra person is like killing them.
In the movie they mentioned it was like their shadow
Yeah, like they're right.
because they just had when they were stuck in the thing they did everything they were doing.
Yeah, and then also, do you remember somewhere in the beginning where the little girl was like talking about? They were like, "Oh, the government's controlling our minds by fluoride and shit." I like remember that later. I'm like, "Oh shit, they were talking about mind control," and they're like, "Yeah, they were doing it, but not through." Well, I don't know if it was through fluoride, but it was like their clones and shit that they were like linked to. Before we start anything, one of my pros of the whole thing was the actress Lupita, dude,
Which one was Lupita?
the main chick.
Oh yeah, that was badass.
Did you know that she was doing that? Was like all her, the voice when she's like, and she was like talking and shit.
That's probably
That-
like really straining, man.
Dude, that shit got my like hairs up and shit. I was like, ooh, when she started talking like that, dude. That shit.
Dude, when I have a kid, I'm just gonna put a little luchador mask on him, and I'm gonna make him crawl around like that. 'Cause
Little
that was
kid.
creepy as fake.
Yeah,
And he's
dude.
gonna be like,
We're really focused on those noises because they were pretty creepy.
No, the
Yeah,
little
that
kid.
little black kid was super funny for like taking him into like the closet and then like going in. It's like we're gonna hang out in here because I would never lock myself in a little closet room with a kid that's opposite of me, like essentially like knowing that what I'm gonna do is run out and lock him in that little like cabinet room. Remember?
Yeah, they're saying there's rumors. We put out a spoiler alert already, right?
Yeah.
There's rumors or whatever. They're saying that like the kid was also, because you know how at the end they showed that they switched places in the beginning, right? Like the whole time the good guy was actually the bad
That
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
So they were saying that like somehow the kid also did that too, because at the end there's like when they like share that look and the kid kind of puts the mask back on and shit. I don't know. And then also she's like, "Stay with me and you'll be safe." I don't know. There's like so many things in there. It's like I feel like I need to see it another
That clearly
time.
was that other kid was clearly deformed though.
Yeah, he
yeah,
was.
no, the original kid.
Yeah, and remember
Like,
when she's like,
he-
"No," when he's
he's like-
burning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
it's
like,
because
oh, shit.
he controlled it because the other
Right.
one's his shadow.
Right.
So I thought of it when I saw when he was behind the sun, his shadow's right in front of him, so he backed up.
Oh yeah,
You know?
that was crazy. Did you?
That
I
was
only.
the part in the theater when I was stupid bitch. You burned alive.
Oh my
Dude, it's
God.
hot there, bro. What
It's
the hell?
hot. You're not
When
gonna
backing up,
survive.
you're not gonna survive that. If I felt the heat on my back, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck?
You didn't get any moments in the movie where like you kind of like felt that vibe that she was the bad guy.
No, I did. Yeah,
I did not really get him.
I did.
I
I did.
honestly,
I
that
did.
part, like when in the beginning, when you know, you obviously know it's about to start, and it's like the girl pulling up right before it cuts. Like, I shut my eyes. I closed him hard.
Wait, you closed your eyes for what?
Dude, wait, when she's in the fun house?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was like covering my ear because I'm like, they're gonna like come out with a jump scare. I was like,
Yeah.
screw this.
It's coming from
I
somewhere.
don't like
And it's
this.
like, you know what? I didn't pay for this
I don't-
misery.
yeah.
You know what's funny though? Like for me, for the most part, I don't like watching horror films.
I don't like the ones with jump scares. I hate jump scares.
Did you hate it? Because a lot of people have that criticism of.
I liked it, but I didn't like the jump scares. Yeah,
the jump scares were great.
They were. No, when he's like, he's in the library and he like.
But the
says
part
something.
where it's the kid is being.
I don't know. I just thought this movie was intriguing.
It was.
It was
Yeah.
very intriguing.
You were always like.
So
what the
this
fuck's
what
going
made
on?
me actually enjoy it.
So cons.
Cons?
What are your
What the
cons?
fuck? That's my con.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the fuck, the fuck.
Well, it's like like the one thing I have about like because I like
There's a lot of questions.
horror
left.
movies a lot, but I have a lot of like. See, my least favorite thing in horror movies is when there's something that's just not easily explainable, where it's like, all right, that makes sense, or hey, it's a logical, I don't know, explanation for that. Because like my logical thing is like, when you see someone running at you with a knife, do you not run away from that person? Or like, hey, one of our friends is missing. Oh, now two of our friends are missing. Hey, we should probably go get the police.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, and then there's this one guy. He's like, dude, why would we call the police when we can solve this shit ourselves?
Yeah, it's
bro?
like nobody says that.
Dude, nobody.
You mean the
says that.
dad?
Yeah, I know it's the dad. And then they were like, you know,
That shit was funny though when he's like, "All right, yeah, call the cops." And he goes like, "I was like, dude, that shit is so true."
Yeah,
you would
and
be
also-
like, "What?" And then
You
when
know-
they don't do it, you're like, "All right, fuck that shit."
And
call
then
the
when that
cops."
was happening too, I was also logistically trying to pan out like, it's gonna be about like 14 minutes. And he's like, 14
you're the
It's like
motherfucker that
14
started your
minutes. Yeah, I
timer
was
and shit.
like,
You're like,
yeah, it was like 14 minutes later, they were at the White family's house. So I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, and then also it was going all around the state, right? That's when
Yeah.
all this shit started going down.
There was tons of it.
So why were they? I'm sorry. Oh shit. Well, so why were they holding hands? Was that because of that one
The
thing
Hands
that she
Across
had
America thing. Yeah, it was like I don't know. It was just like a symbolism thing. I
on?
think.
Because she was the original girl and
Yeah.
she saw that thing, right?
She made so when the original girl,
Mhm.
which was made to seem like the bad guy, was like it's like they noticed I was different from them, so she was the one who formulated the plan.
What was
because-
different about her though?
She was the original.
She
girl.
was dancing.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
She was
She was the
dancing.
original
She was
girl, so she
creating.
wasn't affected like the
Oh,
other
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
So she's like, she wanted to get revenge because like the shadow stole her life.
Yeah.
And
No, you know
she
what
was
tripped me
also
out, too?
Creating, like that's another thing that was like crazy because even though the shadow was like dancing in real life and doing the dance recital,
Oh, so
Right?
the shadow was the one that was making the dance moves then, probably, right?
but yeah, the actual girl was down there. She was dancing in front of everyone, and they were like, "This is original movement. Like this isn't like you're not copying anyone. You're the one
Maybe,
creating."
yeah.
I thought that's what that meant.
Yeah,
There was like a
maybe.
lot of things that you can go back and watch and kind of jump back into like symbolism.
Yeah,
and
no.
like
And then also, I'm sorry, real quick. Also, you notice that like all the other shadows couldn't talk. They were like,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, they
this
were-
girl could talk.
yeah.
So it was like, and not in the beginning. Remember, she like when she came back, she was like quiet, and then when she was at the beach, that scene in the opening scene where she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm just not good at this." This
Communicating.
talk." Yeah, communicating.
Like small tag.
Yeah, and I thought that I was like,
Oh,
right? I was like,
alright.
I was like, oh shit! I thought she just because
Let
she
me
like
write that down.
Wait.
in
Oh,
notes
wait. No,
right
no, no, no.
now.
Yeah. Now it's making a lot.
it all
more
makes sense. Yeah,
Because remember when the parents
Speech
were
therapy.
complaining, it was like, what?
she doesn't talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she didn't talk
Yeah.
because she was a shadow.
Dude.
Oh my god!
I know. I feel
you're
like I need to
blowing my
see-
mind.
I need to see it
Just
again.
poop yourself.
No, like the
another
thing,
pause.
I gotta go, guys.
No, the thing I think about this movie is it if it does good in the box office and they want to do a sequel, I feel it's gonna go
I don't think
kind of. I don't. I just hear me out, man. Hear me out, man. If it does do well and it makes a sequel, if a sequel is demanded, I feel it's gonna go kind of like the Cloverfield route.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
By
Like,
other people's vision. I mean, other people's point of view and shit.
well, like not necessarily other
No,
people's point of
I like
view,
that.
more along the lines of like you'll know more of the
But
story.
Cloverfield didn't explain shit
Yeah.
in any of the
There's
sequels.
so
No,
much
no,
up
no,
in the
but-
airness for
no,
that whole
it's-
thing.
It's a lot of theory crafting from the fans itself.
Oh, okay.
Because we just theory crafted a shit ton with the movie,
Yeah.
with us talking. I think that's what kind of this is going to appeal to.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Is a theory crafting type movie.
I mean, the one thing that you can say about what's his name, Jordan Peele, right?
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, it's like he definitely makes movies that make you like you don't know what the fuck is happening. I like that.
And
That's
you
cool.
and you think a lot.
Yeah,
I'm actually pretty surprised because you watch like it's his comedy show. And stuff
I
like
know.
That. And then you're just like, oh my god, this dude's an artist.
the first one I was like, what the fuck? He made a scary movie? What the fuck? And then I started watching. I'm like, this dude knows what's up.
He's an artist. He's very creative.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you guys want to bring it to this, but overall rating wise, though, compared to
It wasn't as good as the first one.
No.
Hell no. But
Oh, you mean
it
like
was
his
good.
first movie?
Get Out.
Yeah, the first one was so good.
Oh,
Get Out.
That was
I actually still
shit.
haven't watched it.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't.
All right. Well, I give.
Oh my
God.
God, Kevin.
Dude, I'm
Seriously.
uncultured swine.
God damn, son. Okay, you're gonna like the first one, I think.
So what would you give Get Out?
Yeah, that one was like, just cause like it was so like
Refreshing?
I'm like yeah, like when I came in there, I was like, okay, we'll see what's up. And
That's
then,
also
like,
my
as it was
favorite
going-
movie because as soon as shit starts going sour, that dude's like, I'm out. Like that's what I would do. It's like oh man, it's like these white people acting crazy,
dude. That was like the perfect balance between like comedic relief and like scary shit going down. Like you get scared the shit out of you, and then
For
like
which movie?
Get Out.
Okay, yeah.
They had the perfect balance because like
Yeah.
you get this shit scared out of you, and then they like have you laughing, and you're like, all right, we're good, and then it scares the shit out of you again. Like it was a perfect. It was good.
the perfect amount of eerie to like comedic relief back to like all right, now we're in like you feel
Yeah.
like you're immersed in like this creepy
Hell yeah,
environment,
dude.
you know.
Yeah.
But I give Get Out 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like
All right.
9.5 for me. 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost a 10.
What that's
Yeah,
okay,
like I
that's
mean,
Get
almost
Out.
a 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, we can go on later. Personally,
I could even give it a 10. I wouldn't even be.
Nah.
It was just so good. Like I loved it. Every part of it was like, dude, this is the shit. And then
Yeah.
at the end, you think you got
I
it solved,
think-
and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't even
At 10
know
out
what
of
was
10
going
to
on.
me, I think that's where opinion 100% like feeds into like what people think a 10 out of 10 is. But obviously, a
guess.
9 out of 10 is just a great film that I don't feel anyone should miss.
All right, Django for me is like a 10. So,
Django to me is a 10 too as well.
So I guess maybe this one is like a 9.59.
Yeah, okay. But then rating it back to us.
So segmented.
Where do you put us? Because I put us at a 7 out of 10. It's a good watch.
Yeah.
You should. I definitely recommend anybody who's like into the horror film genre to catch it. But it's not something that I feel like it's definitely a 7 out of 10. Is like as soon as it comes out on a cheaper platform and is more accessible to you, I feel like you should watch it
Yeah,
But
like
I
at least
wouldn't-
watch it at least once.
once. But I wouldn't say go out of your way. Go watch this now, or you're left behind. Because those 7 out of 10s, if you don't watch them later, if you're not a real big film buff, you will kind of miss it. And
Yeah.
then, but I wouldn't say it would be the biggest thing if you missed it.
Yeah.
But what about you guys?
Yeah, I remember you told me that, and I was
No,
like,
I'll agree with you with 7 out of 10 because I'm giving it a higher score because it's I think it's very creative.
Mm-hmm.
It gives the kind of open, they made it very open for theory crafting for the fans who just want to like, what are these things? What is this about? Yeah. So like 7 out of 10, like
You?
if I was thinking about it, I probably wouldn't have wanted to watch it in the movie theaters. I would have liked to just watch it on Netflix.
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much my only thing. But I will say like it's one of those like watch it if you
Get
you
a
want
chance.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
If-
Yeah.
If you're on the
Right.
fence about it, just watch it. That's
What about you?
I wanted to disagree with you because you had told me your rating. I was like, "What? Everybody loves this movie. How are you not gonna agree?" I was like, "Oh,
What with
because
us?
yeah, because he had texted
Yeah,
me
because
that he had
everyone
saw
was
it.
like Tarzaning out fucking Jordan Peele's nutsack. Like,
Tarzan. And I was like, man, I was like doubting you. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see what's up. We're gonna see what's up. And yeah, man, I'm with you. Unfortunately, yeah, it's,
He wanted to disagree with you.
I wanted to, but no, yeah,
He wanted to hate you.
I also wanted to
I
put out
hate you
there
so
that
much.
another one of my pros that I said this out loud as soon as it happened was when they're on the boat and he's like on the boat and he goes like and he's like saying that, but all I thought about was like that scene. I don't know which Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah,
when
the first one?
Velociraptor.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah, and
it's
they're
like this guy's about to call in all his shooters. And I was like, he's got shooters out here, and I'm like, he's calling in all his shooters, son.
Oh,
Like,
shit. Oh, no. He's like a dog that got ran over.
Dude, they're the white family.
all right, we might
got dirty.
Dude,
I do
what's
wanna
up with
bring
like fuck the police playing and shit? I was like,
I thought that was
dude, he's
pretty
making
funny.
a statement
I
right
think,
now.
I actually
The police never
would,
showed up.
I would like to point out that I think the people who love fuck the police the most is actually white people because I feel because it's like I think they love how crazy it sounds, and I think the more people have bought the song like that album is like it's definitely been white people. It's like statistically I think that might be true, but I may be wrong. But moving on.
Okay, so earlier you guys showed me we watched the Joker trailer all together.
Dude.
And what's the actor's name? Do you remember?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. He is an amazing
He's
actor.
one of my favorite actors. Yeah.
Like when I watched the Johnny Cash film, like my ex-girlfriend
that
at the time, or my girlfriend at the time, she
My ex-girlfriend.
I mean she's an ex-girlfriend now.
Yeah.
But my girlfriend at the time, she told me to watch the Johnny Cash movie. It was one of her favorite movies.
Yeah, it's a
And-
fucking classic.
And also, like, I know she tried forcing it down my throat. That was like,
What?
we're gonna learn how to sing these duets.
Aw.
Yeah.
Did
I mean,
you?
I did, yeah.
Me too.
Wow.
But I didn't have no girlfriend. I just did it because
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
You did both.
I
both.
did, dude.
You did.
No.
Reese Witherspoon's and Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't want to talk about that. Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, I was like, oh, and another thing, I was like, dude, he got skinny
Yeah, dude.
for this movie.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't recognize him at first.
I know.
It's not Dallas Buyers Club like skinny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still a sacrifice.
Yeah, he got super skinny, man. He looks crazy.
I genuinely think it's diving into some of those like things of like I mean there's a lot of like origin things out there now for DC comic fans for
Yeah.
the Joker as it is, but to put it on film like this, I feel like anyone who I mean in retrospect is a little disappointed in what DC's been pouring out. Like I feel like this is exactly what they need to kind of get people rolling back on DC films. Like
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's a DC.
it's a
film.
DC
Wait,
film. The
Is-
only
is
other thing
Aquaman
out there is
DC
like,
universe?
yeah,
it
it
is.
was, and
I like that movie.
I like that
Shazam's
movie.
coming out.
And Shazam looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I want to see
Yeah.
that one. We should
That's
see
like, you know, like some dudes hanging out like best friends, little kids. It's like me hanging out now with Kevin, like hanging
Yeah.
out with a child. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
What the fuck?
No, but before we get into Joaquin Phoenix, dude. When I first saw him was in fucking Russell Crowe. What was it? Gladiator.
Gladiator, yeah.
He did such a good job of being a little fucking rat, man. He was so good at being a shithead, man. I hated him so much. And then after that, I saw him in like Signs. And I was like, I remember seeing him and I'm like,
Oh,
nah,
yeah.
man, fuck that guy. And then I like halfway through the movie, I'm like, I think I like this guy. Yeah. And then after that, I'm like, dude, this guy can play like any
Anything.
role
Yeah.
and be amazing at it. And then Walk the Line came out and I was like, oh shit, this guy
Yeah.
is like one of my favorites. So yeah, and when they announced a long ass time ago, when they announced that Joaquin Phoenix was gonna be like the next Joker, I was like, I remember I was so much on the side of like they should just no longer do any more Jokers because I was like, dude, Heath Ledger killed that shit. They need to leave that alone for like 10 plus.
Oh, you mean
years.
like Heath Ledger did such a good job?
Yeah, he killed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then with Jared Leto and all that, I was like, dude, just stop, dude. Don't.
Okay,
even
so
try.
like, I had to talk with some people about this, but I feel like
fuck Jared Leto.
okay, I
Okay.
never said that I praised
Just wanna
them
say that.
bad. I just said I'm just saying like, all right, some guy kills it. That doesn't mean that we can't reinterpret the role and then do the role again. And
Exactly. I
but
was just saying like 10 plus years. Like it's gonna take a while. For my mentality at that point.
But people have to give it a try in the meantime. I mean, I feel like the Jared Leto approach was just like too weird and offbeat, and I feel like it's someone really tried to get themselves into the madness, and it was like, hey man, calm the fuck down. Like it's like it's all right. No
Wasn't
one.
he like mailing dead corpses of like raccoons and shit to like Will Smith?
he came to like a live study. I think. I think the story is that there was like there were a script reading, or they were like trying to read, and he brought like a dead pig carcass in, and he dropped it, and he was like, "Man, I'm crazy," and it's like,
I'm
dude,
crazy.
yeah, you're really legit crazy. I'm gonna sue the shit out of you. I don't know. Get this 30 seconds away from me, motherfucker. I don't know. But I mean, I'm super fucking stoked. I think it's coming out this fall, right?
Yeah.
And I think that might be something we might cover like immediately, because like that is gonna be a good fucking film.
Yeah, when they announced that Joaquin Phoenix, I'm like, he's one of the only actors that I'm like, he has a decent chance at actually doing his own spin, doing his own unique
and
thing,
doing it well.
and doing it good. Yeah. And so far in the trailer, I thought he did. It looks good. It looks like a different thing. You don't have to.
Might
thought
take a
it-
little
that shit
Wayne.
did
and
grr.
that grr.
Sí, güey.
Yeah.
Es muy.
Eres muy.
Ay, no, ni tan tan.
Okay, so I want to iterate. We talked about it. Did we talk about it a little last week? No, we didn't at all.
There was no podcast this week.
No, yeah, there was. Yeah, I know. Alita Battle Angel.
Okay,
What did you think about that
I
movie?
didn't see it.
You didn't watch? Oh my god! Me and
Smack.
Jose, we enjoyed the hell out of that movie. I came to that movie.
Skeptical.
No, not skeptical. Just like not that much expectation out of it.
Yeah, that's true. So he didn't have high hopes for it. Like he didn't bring like his like, oh man, this is gonna be badass. Which is funny because like I was like pushing really hard for it, and I don't think he really understood why. But I had seen trailers. I knew it was based like I knew who was directing it. I thought it was like
Who's directing it?
Robert Rodriguez,
Who's that? Who did you do?
the mariachi.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Pretty sure it is. I feel like right now I didn't fact check that, so I feel
Oh.
super vulnerable.
Oh, that's
But like, he's also the guy that did. If it's Robert Rodriguez, and I'm pretty sure it was the guy who also did that half and half split with like Quentin Tarantino for like the horror terror film.
The Death Proof?
Yeah.
What?
So like it's like he had like a lot of credit behind him on that, and he was working with the guys who did all the CGI effects. If not, like I don't know what the actual collaboration was there, but the guys that did all the CGI for Avatar.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
Dude,
that would have made me go see it.
Really? What about the fact that I'm your best friend telling you to go watch a movie?
Dude, he just he doesn't give a shit about your opinion.
Dude, we go there, right? We literally are watching. I'm saying like maybe 10 minutes in, and I have this dude like literally be like, dude, the CGI on this
It's amazing.
is amazing.
Yeah.
It is captivating when you see.
Like the entire time watching with the CGI, I didn't feel, you kind of like get de-immersed, I guess, like where it's like, it's over the top. I can totally tell it's CGI. This, I'm not saying that it looked super real, but it's more of the lines that it just blended really well with the live actors.
What'd you think about Christoph Waltz?
Great.
I love.
Dude.
That's the only reason why I wanted to watch that movie, because I'm like, Christoph Waltz is my G.
He is a good actor, because I remember watching him in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is Robert.
How
Rodriguez. It is the
amazing-
Robert Rodriguez that I'm talking about. I
Yeah?
had to fact check it.
It
Yeah,
is?
and mariachi and everything.
How amazing
From
though.
Dusk Till Dawn, also.
What was it?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Which one's that one?
Vampires. Quentin Tarantino is actually in it as an actor with George Clooney. They go to the biker bar. There's a bunch of vampires in it.
Oh, I gotta see it. I don't think.
What the fuck?
So.
All right, fine.
But how amazing is it that Christoph Waltz went from like being one of the craziest villains of all time,
And he was a good guy.
and then he was a good guy in
And it was so
Django.
good.
Yeah. He's like the dentist and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved him so much. I'm like,
He's
dude, this
good.
guy's just a good
He had,
actor.
the best dialogue in that. I think Quentin Tarantino knows how to write dialogue for him. For him
course.
specifically, it is amazing.
I mean, in general.
In general, he does, but I mean, for him, it's like that thing is personified. Like it's like he is the dialogue, and I mean, in his own acting, right? He is his amazing talent. Like it's out of this world.
Yeah,
but like
he's so good.
So,
Oh yeah.
The action for this film was also
Oh yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, the
man.
action is very good.
It's all right.
Fuck,
The
I
battle
curled my,
scenes.
I curled my toes in, and I grip like this, and then afterwards he's like, "Dude, stop touching me." And I was like, dude, we laughed so hard.
Oh
like,
yeah,
dude, it
There's
was
a bunch of parts of the
there was
movie where we
super,
laughed.
dude, it was great. I mean,
Fuck.
easily, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Well, yeah, me and him have a twisted sense of humor, so we're laughing at certain parts where everyone's like, "Why are they laughing?"
Oh my god! I mean, I can't recommend that movie enough to anyone.
Okay, now I gotta see it.
Yeah.
And I mean, watch it with us if we can still catch that. Film
Yeah,
next
dude,
week,
I'll watch it again.
we'll watch
Like,
it
that's-
again.
Let's see an IMAX.
Let's do it.
Fucking
If we-
5-story screen.
we
Your
can-
peripheral vision is
Yeah,
the screen.
but I mean, overall, let's do this and let's come back with like your rating next
Alright.
week. I think both of us together we were pretty unified on like 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
wow.
And
Heavy.
I will say, and this is the cons that I will say that kept it from being a 10. I feel like they overplayed certain cliches.
Mm.
Like the girl being super powerful.
No,
Like certain plot lines, like so, like you could see the love interest coming from a mile away.
Oh, okay.
It was like it didn't really play into it where you really thought for a second, like, hey, like like this isn't the guy that she's gonna fall in love with. But it was just like, and I mean, it might be that way. Like that's another thing. Is like if it is like that in the manga, and they are staying true to that, then I would have to say, okay, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah.
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 But if the truth is like,
Because it makes sense. Because like in some, like let's say an anime, romance is sometimes pretty over the top.
pretty over the top, and like you can see it from a mile away. Oh, she's gonna fall in love with that guy. But it's like the guy's like on the motorcycle, and like the second that he shows up, and she's like, it's like, oh my
Who's
god,
that?
I wish I
She was
felt
like,
way about
"Who's that?"
anybody. Like it made me really want
Yeah,
to see my
but like
therapist.
really, like that's the only thing that I kept it from being 10 out of 10.
All right.
And even then, like
we were
even
trying to
with
find
the-
reasons.
yeah, like that's the thing is like I said to Jose, because we were just like gushing about how we liked the movie so much. But it's like, dude, for any of it to be like validated, we have to find something wrong with the film.
There was some cheesy dialogue too.
Yeah, some cheesy.
So there's this part where like obviously, I mean the whole thing is like Alita Battle. She's a cyborg, right?
Yeah.
And there's another cyborg that, I mean, because it's kind of like a little secret when it happens, comes out and says,
Don't
like,
kill the story.
I'm not saying it.
bro.
No, when it happens, it's like, like, I'm not going to lead you into it, but essentially the bad person says, I'm going to cut you open and I'm going to see as you're ugly in the side as you are as I am on the outside. And it was just like, all right, well, that was a
yeah.
I don't really say
It's
it's like clearly you have some problems in your personal life, and you're really taking it on the wrong people, man. I was like,
Yeah.
are you a bad guy?
So yeah,
or are you
that was like our
bad
only
guy?
thing. It's like, there's a few little cheesy dialogue lines, like I was like, oh, this should be like on a TV show, and
Yeah.
they have some cheesy dialogue. But
It's all right. I'm not
that
just
like if those are our only complaints,
oh, dude,
it's like a must see.
it's a must see.
yeah.
It's a must see, and if we get to coordinate this next week and watch it in IMAX and it blows our minds, then I would say that they should bring it back, because I think a bunch of people
I
missed
think
it.
I would love to watch a second.
Yeah.
I want it to do good in the box office because I want to watch the second.
We won't even talk about that, but if this got another film, like, you know what I mean, like, it deserves it. Like, and I would be there day of
Do
Friday
they
or
leave
midnight
enough
premiere.
to like actually continue?
Yeah,
that
we'll
one?
let you watch it. But I mean, like, for anyone that wants to go watch it, like, it's definitely it leaves you wanting more. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. So also, let's see here. Dreams. You were speaking about dreams.
Oh, okay. So we're off the topic of movies and entertainment now. We're going into some deep shit.
We're getting into the deep grind.
All right. No, yeah, I wanted to share a story with you guys. It was so it's about it is from the podcast Radio Lab. I have to give my shout out, but I just wanted to share. It's just such a badass story. So, it's about this guy who in this point in his all right, you fucking got it. Oh, you heard it.
There we go. Problem solved. On to the next.
Awareness. That's what we need out in the world right now.
We're going.
All right, so in this moment in his life, he's like stressed out, and he starts having this dream. And so in the dream, he's like walking through his apartment, and there's like a window, and he sees like a face that comes in, and it like fades into the darkness, and it comes back again, and he starts feeling this buzz, like some shit's about to go down, basically. And then so somebody starts banging on his door and shit, and he's like, oh, like, you know, he starts like cussing and like it's a crazy ass dream. And then so he opens the door and the guy breaks the door in and they start fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And he like wakes up like punching in the air even at some points.
Yeah.
And this dream occurs for like 6 times a year, up for like 20 years. He's had the same reoccurring nightmare at this point. And it's like always exactly like that. And then so he starts doing research about like how to fix it. Like, you know, he's like, what the hell is this shit? And he starts going into like the whole REM sleep, and he starts like, you know, researching all that crap where, you know, basically when you're in like the most deepest part of your sleep, you go into REM sleep, which is where you develop dreams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And REM is like rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
So your eyes start going crazy. The guy who started researching this, he started like doing projects where he would watch people when they go to sleep and start monitoring all their levels and shit, and their eyes would always go crazy until there's this one guy that his eyes started going crazy, and then all of a sudden they started just left to right, left, right, left, right, and like it was so different from everybody else. So he wakes him up and he's like, what were you dreaming? Do you remember what you were dreaming about? And he's like, yeah, I was watching a ping pong match. And that's when he's just like, oh shit. So there's a correlation between it. It turns out that your eyes is the only like thing that carries over from the dream world to the real world.
Yeah.
So he's like, interesting. So he's like, I'm going to go deep. And this guy who started, this doctor that he's researching about now, he's like, I'm going to like achieve this. And he does. And he's like, I'm going to give you a signal when I'm lucid. And lucid is when you're like aware that you are in a dream and you are in control.
Yeah.
Inception, basically. And he's like, I'm going to give you a signal. And my signal is going to be that I'm going to move my eyes left to right very, you know, obviously. And he does it. And they're like, oh, is he faking it? And they check like all of his levels. No, he's actually in a sleep. He's in a deep sleep. And his eyes are moving left to right. He's signaling them from the dream world. So he starts researching more about this, and they're like, okay, so in order to achieve lucidness in your dreams is you have to do what they call a state test. So you have to make it routine that throughout the day, throughout your normal routine, you are constantly testing the state. Am I in a dream right now? How did I get into this room? All this kind of stuff. Like, and then one of the things that also is different in your dreams is text. Because it doesn't have a physical attribute in the real world, it's in the dream world, text changes. Mm-hmm. So from 1 minute to the next, if you look back at it, it could change.
Okay.
So if you train yourself to always pay attention to things like that and like, am I asleep right now?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, because I do remember like, not anchors, I guess. But, you know, so you remember Inception. You know,
yeah, and it brings it back a lot to Inception. Yeah.
I tried experimenting with lucid dreaming for a while. And one tip that I got that I thought was pretty cool, I use the palm of my hand. While I'm awake, I keep pushing in the middle of my hand. You feel it, right?
Uh-huh.
So when I go to the dream world, if I take out the palm of my hand and I push there, it's just going to go through.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So then I would just like...
Has it happened? Has it worked?
Yeah. It went through. I was like, oh, I'm dreaming.
And then what?
And then I kind of just was able to like be more aware, and I kind of just like changed.
You could like manipulate shit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not like crazy like in the Inception, because I guess I haven't practiced it enough.
Yeah.
But it was more of the you know, subtle things. So like, let's say it was a nice afternoon. I'm out at like in the park or something. I just would make it like fast forward in time a little bit.
Really?
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it like dusk or whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, my tail is always just hitting my friend as hard as I can.
Oh, okay. I don't think you've tested it in like the last 10 minutes, bro.
I punched a lot of my best friends in the face. I
a lot of friendships have ended.
I think I'm dreaming all the time, and it's actually becoming the problem.
It's real. I'm sorry.
It's real. I'm
I
sorry.
had to check.
It's okay, bro. You're just lost, man. It's okay.
Oh my god. I forgot where I was at. Where was I? God
Yeah,
damn.
yeah. Keep going.
I forgot where I was at.
All right, so that's the tell from the outside that they're reading, right?
Okay. All right, so he gets with certain people, and they start training him. That they're like, "What's the moment where you would like to regain control or get lucidity in your dreams?" And he's like, "Probably when I first see that face that appears in the window, because then they like start fighting and all that shit." So he's like, "Okay, visualize seeing that face and like being in that moment." So he does this like a ton, dude.
Yeah.
And then finally it gets to that moment where he's walking in his apartment, and then he starts feeling that buzz in the air again, and then that fucking face comes into the window again, and this time he's there. He's present, right? He's like there in that moment, and he's like, "Oh shit, like, I'm here." It's no longer like observing the moment as it happens. You're in the moment and you're in control. So the guy starts banging on the door again, and then this time, instead of him like cussing or whatever and like shouting at him and them fighting, he just opens the door, and then the guy walks in, and the guy is like looking at him like they're just looking at each other, and then the guy that walks in pulls out a gun, and then he kind of looks at him like, "Now are you gonna have the reaction that you normally have?" And then
like the guy controlling the dream now pulls out a gun.
no.
Oh,
The guy that
dreams up.
Yeah, the villain, like pulls out a gun. Like, "Now are you gonna freak out like we always do? Like we're gonna go at it?" And he's just like, and he says that like in that moment he's like totally freaking out because this guy's been like tormenting him for the last 20 years
in his dream.
In his dreams, this reoccurring dream that he's had. So he's like, "It's just a dream. It's just a dream. Like, calm. You're in control. It's just a dream." And then the guy's just like, and then he just starts shooting point blank in his chest. And he's like looking down, and he's seeing like his shirt billowing with every single shot. And he's like, "I'm not feeling anything." And I'm just like, I'm fucking Neo in the Matrix and shit. Yeah.
And then he was like, remember we talked about, he was like, I remember that specifically when we were younger, when we talked about the Matrix, and we were just like,
"Oh yeah," and then like the fucking wall.
and we were like, I remember that memory specifically
That shit
because I
was
just thought it
badass.
was so funny when you did that. You were like,
He's
that, and we were like, oh.
Yeah. And then so he's just like looking at him, and he's just like, "Oh shit, like this isn't affecting me at all." And then the guy is like, finally, like the guy smiles at him, and like kind of like, and he kind of gets like the feeling that he's like, "See, now you get it, you got it." He doesn't say that, but like he feels that. And then he never has that dream again.
Wow.
Never again. So yeah, it was a crazy story, and the whole thing that I brought it up is because I'm starting to take a Alpha Brain.
Oh,
And you get
the
fucking
one
lucid dreams.
with Joe Rogan. I used to
Yeah.
take whatchamacallit,
Crack.
Oh, okay.
Optimind is what I used to take.
Okay, is this the
But
same
the thing
kind of
is, you
shit?
can't get lucid dreams because it's got caffeine in it, so you stay awake. So this is kind of
shit.
something like if I want to be a little more organized throughout my day,
You like, yeah.
which I should probably take again because you know me, I'm pretty disorganized when it comes to like just planning out my day.
It's crazy because I took it when I was like 19 years old, a long ass time ago.
Alpha Brain?
Yeah, I started taking it like
Because I know Joe Rogan, he promotes that a lot.
Yeah.
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 That's
why I took it.
The whole on it thing.
Yeah. I don't know if I was 19. It was really young though.
But like quick off spec though. When we were talking about the Matrix, it's 20 years old now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. I was 8 years old when that movie came out.
I was 9, so
Yeah.
were we 8?
When the first Matrix came out.
Yeah, I was born in 90, and it came out in
Yeah.
2000.
So then we watched
I
that
thought it
movie.
came out in 2000.
No, that was like the second and third movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember like going out to the local neighborhood and recruiting everyone to play the Matrix, the game. Like we'd play it together. And
Which one?
No, as in like in real life, we all pretended to be part of the Matrix, and then we'd be like, yeah, and there'd be just a bunch of fucking like kids going like this, and then everyone driving by was probably like,
There's that drug
what
again.
the fuck?
What the hell are these kids doing?
All these kids doing, and everyone's like, we're using our imagination, dick. I mean, yeah, no, it was pretty big. So 8 years old makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. Like
yeah.
he basically conquered the terror. But maybe I should tell my dad because my dad has like this.
Same dream.
Not the same dream, but he has this dream.
Pretty
Because
second-
I remember
second to
when I was
Outtake.
living with them, he would Jesus Christ, dude! I just remember he would be sleeping, and sometimes I'd hear him, and he'd be like, like freaking the
Jesus
fuck,
Christ.
just freaking the hell out in his dreams. And then I guess when I asked, dude, what happened? Like, dude, what the fuck? What happened? And I guess like a baby is like chasing him, but it's like super strong and like super
What
fast
the
and just fucks him up all the
Superhuman
time.
baby.
And it's the same reoccurring dream. I was like, maybe not the same premise, but it's always like this super strong, like superhuman baby that fucks him up. And like maybe like a toddler or something, but like I guess one time it chased him with an axe, and he was like, oh, like
Really?
yeah, I don't
Sounds
know.
like some Child's Play shit.
That
Child's Play
sounds
remake.
like
Boom.
some psychological.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, but you know, me and my father don't talk, so I would have no
And
idea
how did you know about that dream, dude?
because I would ask him when
Read this
I
text.
wake his ass up. Huh?
Read
Now-
this text.
Now read
dude.
it again.
Now read it.
Yeah, we just farted so
You guys just beat the crap out of me and stomp me out in my own show.
Oh shit! There you go.
This is the best dream I've ever had.
Oh yeah,
The
so
wet dream.
the next subject I want to talk about, going back a little into tech, or like, you know, futurism when we were talking about Apple. Next week, possibly, we can actually see a high resolution picture of the black hole at the center of our galaxy.
What?
Yeah, so it's taken with the ALMA telescope, is what it's called, ALMA telescope. And because I do remember like doing a little research. I'm gonna give a little shout out here. Science and Futurism with Isaac Arthur. There's a YouTube channel. I like to listen to him. He would just explain like certain things. Like I guess the best resolution they would have was like 480p for or not even 480p, like 360p. Like, you know, it's before we came out with full HD. But yeah, I guess with this new telescope we're gonna have, or I don't know if it's a new telescope, but with the new picture we're gonna actually have a decent picture of the center of our galaxy, which. And also, they explained there's very weird things that happen with space time.
Yeah, because isn't it like bend light and shit?
Yeah, it bends light, but like I guess like weird things happen. I'm guessing. Well, my guess is space time around a black hole would kind of just like morph like time itself. So like maybe if you were in the event horizon of a black hole, time might go really fast for you. No. Time away from it might go super fast compared to
Time
Wait.
relative to that area.
yeah, which I think is pretty wild.
Time away from it.
Yeah, so in the event horizon, time
You start, like,
time I
dying.
guess time might be going slower.
Oh shit.
So let's say you're in the event horizon of that
Explain
black.
Event Horizon.
The event horizon is basically the outermost portion of a black hole before you get disintegrated inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Before your atoms get split up and enter into the matter of a black
Gotcha.
hole.
So my childhood memories going into my psyche depression.
Yes. Before you just destroy yourself.
Before I destroy myself into
But-
alcohol.
Yeah, but so my
Cheers to
guess
that.
so my best guess is basically in the event horizon that, let's say, I'm just going to give an example. It's just rough this one. Let's say you spend a day in the event horizon. 100 years could pass.
It's like fucking Interstellar.
Yeah. 100 years could pass outside.
It's crazy.
And but you know, speaking of black holes, you know what my favorite word is that scientists actually accept?
Uranus.
No. Spaghettification
What the fuck?
Spaghettification
is an actual term that scientists use for what happens to your body or any matter that's going into a black hole. So spaghettification. So let's say your body is like going into the black hole, you would start to stretch massively before your atoms start getting pulled apart.
Goddamn.
And that's a term that's actually used in the science
What a
community.
good way to go.
Spaghettification.
Prepare for me to
Who
spaghetti.
decided to say, hey, man, like what drunk scientist decided, hey, man, what's the phenomenon of getting like stretched out into before you get disintegrated into atoms?
Like,
It's
I
like,
don't know, but have you had the spaghetti and meatballs in the lunchroom? They're the shit, bro. And he's like,
Get out of my
that's
way.
it.
spaghettification.
Spaghettification.
With a meatball.
Oh, just like a mama make it.
And the first Asian guy to get spaghetti. What the fuck? Oh my god! All right.
You know, talking about black holes, blah blah blah, shoddy la di da. You're saying talking about the Mexican president?
What the fuck?
So, I thought this was okay. So I'm coming at this from more of a comedic standpoint. And throughout history, I feel like there's a small amount of people that have gone back into history and said like, you know what, that was fucked up. We shouldn't have done that. And the Pope is one for going back and apologizing for the Crusades, right? But recently, the Mexican president has essentially asked for Spain to apologize for like all the
For
cookies.
raping us?
He asked for them to apologize for all the colonization that they did like in the Americas and how like crazy that was. And I'm not sure if there was an official reply from Spain, but there was. Okay, well, just to put this out there, Obrador, like when he said it, he had some actual factual like, hey, like, you know, this is like, these are all the facts.
I want reparations.
Yeah, but essentially, right? Like it's saying like,
I want my money.
yeah, there's all the things that Spain did to Mexico, and it sucked ass, and it sucked, and I call for an apology, right? But like, in my opinion, like Spain's just like, that was weeks ago, bitch. Like, that was weeks ago, motherfucker. Dude, it was like, how
Man,
are they
that's some
supposed
old
to
shit.
apologize? Like, that's some old shit, boy. Like, it's like, dude, how are you gonna apologize for that? It's like I thought it was a little silly to ask for an apology because it's like, all right, we didn't do that. Like, I know Spain did that, like as a country,
Ancestors, yeah.
but like we don't even know. We're not even children of the children who knew the children who were like actually in contact with people who did that. Like,
How many generations ago was it?
well, I mean, I know this. Like, put this in perspective, even from now, right? So, like, this on the Joe Rogan podcast, I thought one of the craziest facts that Brian Callen said was that
Wasn't it like
that,
1400s?
that the United States has existed with slavery more than it has existed without slavery.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's like lay it all the way back. Like, so we're not even talking like 100 years ago. We're not
Yeah,
even
and
talking
then-
like 200 years ago.
and
We're
then
talking about three. Like, there's no one
My
you
gra-
know
yeah, like
who
this-
knows anyone in their memory who knew someone who did that.
crazy.
Like, you know. So like, why should we apologize for that? We're a completely different nation with a completely different ethics. Not doing that shit anymore. Not sending out boats full of men to go to different places to tell them like, hey, little Filipinos, you're now Catholic. Like, you know, you're now Catholic, and you're there's nobody doing that kind of stuff now. Like, there's
That's
no
some old
colonization.
shit. Why you bring
That's some old shit.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Wednesday, man. We gotta do some new shit now.
That shit happened on Tuesday. We ain't gonna
How
sell
about
that
you
shit.
keep trying to solve that murder, man?
Shout out to Tom. Tom's
Tom
so
Segura.
good. Oh man, we're gonna catch him on April 13th.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Dude, I got the runaround with those tickets.
I'm working on that for you, baby.
I'm
But I mean, what do you guys think about that? What is your take on that? Like, I mean, in the sense of like, oh, the Pope saying like, hey, we apologize for the Crusades, going back to the Holy Lands and killing like a shitload of people in that surrounding area for trying to take back the Holy Lands. That was insane. Like, you know, like that caused a lot of pain and grief to people that didn't deserve it. I think that this is a really weird scenario now where it's like somebody asking for an apology to people that technically shouldn't give it. It's like, why should we be sorry for this? We didn't do that shit. What do you guys think?
It's really, really weird for me right now because
Oh, ancestry.
ancestry thing came back for me.
I feel more.
I'm 25% Spaniard, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was
I'm gonna buy one of those for my dad for his birthday.
Dude, you should, man.
Yeah,
it's
I think.
crazy.
Well, I mean, how much did that cost?
$1 million.
Plug it.
I got it on sale, but yeah.
On sale.
Man, look at you being all thrifty.
Tú sabes.
Casa deals, bye. How much?
10% Portugal. Anyway, no, yeah, it was like for me it was like $50, but yeah, it's
Holy
like
shit!
it's like $100 normally.
Where does this deal?
I don't know what that deal was. It was something there.
Did-
They sent me an email.
You promote Ancestry.com so much. I feel like they should sponsor us.
Damn, bro.
So you can come with your own
sponsor
promo
us.
code. It's like,
Good.
you know, it's like,
Dude,
it's like
Kevin
Ancestry.
is willing to tattoo Ancestry.com right here.
I'll do the DNA strand.
He'll,
Like right
he'll do
here.
he'll do like
Jeez.
Ancestry.com. Just make sure you put my promo code Davester P.
Oh.
Yeet.
2% Congo. I'm just gonna keep saying my percentages. 2% France.
2% French.
I am though.
2% French.
It was weird,
Dude,
bro.
he's French.
Oui.
Yes. Oui.
Oui, oui.
I'm about to fight.
How you
Dude,
say?
I can't. I'm actually pretty interested now. I want to know what I am.
I am very mysterious. Sometimes I like to be a little romantic. It's normal.
Pepe Le Pew.
I do not rape, unlike my ancestors.
That's horrible.
No, but
Dude, I'm gonna find out that I'm part Eastern European. I'm just gonna be like, it's like, dude, you're like,
What if it just told you that you were like 100% black and you were like, what?
what is the accuracy on this thing?
Then the answer is like, sorry, we
like,
mixed
dude,
up.
you're
We mixed
from
up the
Africa.
results.
he's like that explains.
But he
so
went
much.
around just
I
acting.
looked up.
He went
So
around-
many questions have been
Yeah.
answered.
But he,
with this.
he just like in the meantime, he just went around just acting the black as he could. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm black, yo.
and I'm black, yo. Dude, it would be that's like a sick kind of episode waiting to be ruined.
Yeah.
But okay, back to the subject before we get too
Sorry.
far apart because I know that you just did that. But I mean, where do you feel like you land on like Mexico, like not formally asking, but saying like, hey, someone should apologize for this. And then, like, I don't know, if you were
I mean,
Spain, how would you
he's-
feel?
he's
Be
just
like,
2% German.
He's just he's just asking for apology. That's it, right? Just a formal apology from them, from
Yeah.
the country.
or the people.
I mean,
Hey,
That's weird. I feel like it's weird.
It's a little weird.
I think there's
but at
more
the
but
same
why
time-
not just be like, all right, yeah, dude.
But yeah, exactly.
about that.
I'm with him. Like it's like, yeah, dude, I'll do it, whatever. Because like, no, because
You'll
like
never
at
get
the
me
same
to
no,
apologize for
because
anything,
you gotta
ever.
remember like.
And I've killed people.
No,
See, he's Spaniard, bro.
No,
he's
you-
like 100%.
You gotta
Spaniard.
remember, like, you know, that shit, like, you gotta remember history and stuff like that.
Or like build a statue or some shit. I don't know, like some kind of
I don't know.
memorial.
Dude, building
Remember-
little pieces
remember-
of stone that commemorate things. is not
remember
my
when the
favorite
French
thing.
gave us the Statue of Liberty, dude? Dude,
I don't.
And they were like, you know, so
like what
so
you're
the
saying
U.S. was
right
just the French were like, you know, do your little French accent, but like, let me give you this
Les papillons,
let me give you the statue.
les baguettes.
I'm like,
sorry.
why is there so much butter on
then,
the statue?
And then the U.S. went up to
Stupid
France and was like, hey
American.
man,
Yeah.
thanks for that Statue of Liberty. Good looking, man. Good looking out.
Boom, slam. I mean, that was like, I mean, there's a lot of history to that, but I mean, in essence, can someone just ask for people to apologize for things they didn't do? I feel like that's a little weird. I feel like Obrador has like way more important things and has done and said way more like, I feel like influential things like saying like, hey, I need to fix my own country before I help any other country. So it goes a little bit out of his way of saying like, all right, now I'm asking for an apology from people who don't really need to give an apology. That's the only reason I'm asking, because I feel like,
I ask for apologies all the time.
yeah, unrightfully.
Yeah, and it's dope.
And it's dope.
It's all right.
By the way, you would owe me an apology.
It's like you owe me an apology.
Yeah, for the
It's like, you were
third grade.
fucking drunk last night. I was like, dude, it's like you didn't stop me. It's like, yeah, you should apologize for me
I'll
not
never
stopping
apologize.
you.
I'll never apologize.
So,
I'm just making
I
shit
don't
up.
apologize for anything.
Relax,
I
dude.
mean, maybe
you're
not
getting
an
real defensive
apology.
You're
Yeah.
withholding.
Maybe it was we were withholding. Yeah, the therapist and shit. Do you think what are they gonna do? Give him money? Then what? Mexico gets like a fucking Statue of Liberty from Spain? Or like,
That'd be dope.
I think.
La estatua de libertad.
La libertad. A huevo.
No, but I mean, some kind of memorial or I don't know, something. I mean, I feel for me, maybe not the apology, but the fact that it happened. I mean,
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
acknowledging it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
hey, you know
exactly.
what? We don't like, even if we're not sorry, but like, hey, that did happen. We're not proud of it. What's whatever.
almost in the same way, like
be like,
things-
my bad.
almost in the same way that like Thanksgiving is like people don't even want to celebrate that anymore. They're like, dude, like that was fucked up.
That was fucked up. And there's a lot of people that don't, but I mean,
yeah,
I feel like there should still be like a commemorative, a family event where everyone cooks, but it's like,
keep it real.
Can't we base it on something better than the slaying of like of the people of this country, like where they were just like, "What's up, dude? Let me help you farm corn," and I'm like, "That's really cool, dude. Where's the gold?" Yeah, that's actually my favorite story. Like, so I had a history teacher that told me once, and then I retell it this way. But it's like, imagine you're here, you're just like living your life, and some dudes from like a foreign, like aliens, come through, right? So the aliens get here, and they were like, "Hey, you know, like, where's the gold?" And they were like, what did you say? And it's like, "Oh, this stuff that we have here that holds value to us. Where is this stuff?" And they were like, "Yeah, we don't really know about that shit, but you should probably start farming because the winters here are pretty fucking brutal." And they were like, "All right, dumb Indians." I was like, we're just gonna find this gold. You can plant your stupid corn."
Yeah, like,
no, it's not.
No, this is India. You guys are Indians, right? Like, no, we're not. I don't know what that is. You guys are Indians for hundreds of years later.
Well, that's the thing. It's like this wasn't even one generation of people getting here doing that. It was like they were like, fuck it, you guys are stupid. We're gonna find the fucking gold around here. And then like afterwards, like they would be like, "Oh, these fucking idiots are gonna die." They all die. Like three-quarters of them, not even like a quarter of them survive. Right. Damn. The next generation of boats hits. Right. And they're like, "Oh shit!" And the people that were already here were just like, "Dude, this winter sucked. We didn't have shit. All of us died. We ate each other. Yeah. There was a whole goddamn town that existed. It's not even there anymore." And then it's like, they were like, the next guys are just like, "Step out of the way, idiots. We're going to find the fucking gold here." And then they did that for not like one. Like my history teacher put it this way. They didn't even do that for one. They did that for like 5 or 6 or 7 generations of people just landing. And then people being like, "Step aside, motherfuckers." I'm like, "We know how to find
Where
the
that
gold,
gold, bitch.
Yeah, and then they would just put some guy put on like the gold digger song by Kanye, and it was like, dude, that's crazy, man. Yeah. And like, I feel like if that's what he's like, can we get an apology for that? It's like, all right, well, nah, none of those people actually did that, but like, I think it's pretty funny. And now moving on. I think it's pretty funny for him to ask for that, is what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's like pretty funny for him to be like,
I mean, I don't know. I'm some kind of acknowledgement of that shit happened.
We're just going back in the same semantics,
bro,
buddy.
Dude, you guys should fight.
It's all right. Hey, give him this pen. Let's fight. All right, and moving on. Last thing.
So we're bringing it out to the UFC standings, or
all right. So let's start it on some. Just like last weekend. I mean, you were here. Like, what did you think about Gaethje? Let's just start it off with that. That was the most surprising thing to me, that Gaethje knocking out Barboza, and it is a legit knockout too.
Yeah. I feel like the one thing that I never had. First off, Gaethje's almost like a modern day Diego Sanchez.
He is. I love that you said that. I've never actually thought about that. So this
Thank
is the. I love you, please.
We both touch Kevin. We're just sending love mutually through it.
Gaethje is like a warrior,
yeah.
A warrior, and I love the fact that he's also said like, I only have so many of these left in me, and I feel like the last 2, please give me 2 more, Gaethje. Like if you thought you only had so many battles, like these last couple have not been battles, because knocking out Vic the way you did, knocking out Barboza the way you did, I think you can give me another 2 more, because he said he maybe had like another 5 fights in him. Like,
I have another fight. Five fights.
Shit.
You do?
About 5.
That's all right. Well, you're at 0 fights, so that's pretty not impressive. So like, I think it was an amazing. I think it puts him in the contender run, like for sure. I think that you could put an argument that if the Holloway Poirier fight goes a certain way,
what about Pettis?
He might be a fight away, and that might be. What
He
about
called him
Gaethje
out.
Pettis?
He
What
said
about
that-
Gaethje Pettis?
he said that
He
he
might
wanted
be
to
a
fight
fight
the
away
winner.
from the title shot. That's what I'm saying. Like he's in the running, like for sure.
Well,
Impressive fashion.
Gaethje has like one of the greatest coaches of all time, Trevor
Who?
Whitman. He's the trainer of Rose Namajunas. one of the greatest female fighters of all time, and yet we are going to see in May. Yeah, he has one. Like Trevor Whitman is so goddamn smart.
That party's going down here too. The May one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna throw down, baby.
We should do a reaction video, bro.
I'm gonna be chefing it up. I'll be like,
Damn. Oh.
Dude, we got a deep fryer over here. I don't know if you know this, but it
What do you
uses
know?
oil to fucking fry shit
What are you
in a
gonna
deep
fry?
fashion.
My balls.
dude,
This is getting pretty weird. You're just like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's so good.
Yeah, the other day I made some boneless wings, and they were pretty good.
What?
But back to it.
We should do a hot ones.
Damn.
Okay.
But back to
That's his show.
not ours.
Dang.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I don't want people to be like, you guys suck.
This is the people in your head, bro.
Yeah, that's my
Read these texts
anxiety
real quick for me.
That's my anxiety.
So,
No, but he's got a really good coach, and I feel like he's been using him, and he's been listening to him in the past few fights. So he has, all this
he has
wisdom.
knockout power.
Yeah, but he has wisdom in his corner too. He just
got
needs to
knockout
like
power.
really use that shit. Because Trevor Whitman, like that's why Rose is. I mean, one of the factors that Rose is so good, and why she's developed like monumentally in every single fight. She's jumped like skill level. So
So I'd like to see her like the Rose thing is like amazing in this sense. The next fight coming up because it's
and it's like her hardest fight. This one that's coming
Oh,
up.
amazing!
I
Yeah,
still feel like she's
I'm
gonna win,
super
though.
excited for it. And anyone who says that that's not a main event like worthy fight is crazy.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Dude, why'd you stare at the camera?
I like them. Go ahead.
Yeah. Read these texts real quick for me. I think it was insane to watch that, and I don't take anything away from it. I think that Barboza still has tons of fights in him. I've always thought he should fight for the title too, but he's really been hit by the classic Donald Cerrone win two lose one like scenario, and not in incremental fashion. But I really feel like it's amazing. On that same card, I mean, we were impressed by this, but like, what about Michael Johnson getting knocked out the way that he did? Dude, spit flew remember when we were there? Like spit just flew out of his hand.
Yeah, man.
And
Perfect timing.
who was? I forget his name real quick. Refresh. What was
I forgot his name too.
Oh god damn it!
He like had a broken jaw in the last fight.
He had a
or
broken
some
orbital
shit. Oh,
bone.
orbital. There you go.
Yeah.
I forgot.
God
Kevin.
damn. No, it's not.
Something with an F.
I'm gonna have to look this up, man.
Well, why didn't you be prepared?
I'm not trying to not be prepared.
What does he have to do with anything? No,
I'm just, I'm just saying that this person called Josh Emmett.
Josh Emmett.
Josh
Okay.
Emmett. That's an impressive victory for him coming back from a year and a couple months off. Dude, he got now I'm a huge fan of Jeremy Stevens. Like, I love Jeremy Stevens. For him to
Who the fuck is that guy?
And I was like, I know who he is, kinda. Like, let me tell you. Yeah, because I didn't want him. That one. I was like, Connor looks stupid because he doesn't know who that person.
Everyone knows who he is.
Everyone knows who he is.
That joke's not gonna fly over. Oh my god, no!
Oh my god, now it's a pop culture phenomenon. Dude,
So embarrassed.
I'm so, dude, and I like Jeremy Stevens. To me, like the whole aspect that he's from, like, what is he from Iowa? Like half Mexican, half. Like that.
Yeah. Did you know what he did after that though? He took a picture with Conor McGregor's mom, and he's like, "Your mom knows who I am." I was like, "Oh, damn!"
You're gonna let him get away with that shit, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, but that was insane. Josh Emmett came right from a year, and bringing that to the next subject after that, but came right from a year to win that fight, super impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the subject of Conor, we have a retirement announcement made out. What do you guys feel about that?
Well, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin. What did you?
Conor McGregor announced his retirement from MMA.
Oh, dude, I think that's actually a good move for him because he's doing
Rich.
so. Yeah, dude, he's doing successful in so many other avenues. I mean, look at Ronda Rousey and stuff. If she kept doing more fights and stuff like that, and getting beat and stuff like that, it's like, oh, nobody's gonna give a shit about her.
Tarnishes their legacy.
But she is doing amazing in the WWE.
I hate her so much.
I think Ronda Rousey is Conor McGregor is taking the same aspect of where we feel like Ronda Rousey was at, because if you think about it, like Ronda Rousey not only lost but came back to lose again and never come back. Right?
Yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Would you say that Conor's going to take that route?
Conor McGregor
Conor-
left on the high note, right?
Yeah, he's leaving
Lost-
on a high note.
lost-
I disagree. Cause,
Wait. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
He
And then I'll
didn't- he
disprove
didn't-
everything you said.
He didn't
Paris, I'm gonna
leave
let you
MMA
finish.
on a high note.
I'm going to let you finish. But
Well,
Conor McGregor had the best videos of all time.
yeah.
All
All
right, go
right.
ahead.
So he didn't leave MMA on a high note, but he left MMA on a high note the first time when he went to go fight Mayweather, right? Yes, he did, because he had just beaten Eddie Alvarez. He did.
No, okay. Is that
Yeah.
your point? Are you
No,
done?
no. My point is that
Okay.
he went on to lose and then come back and lose again,
Okay.
just like
All right. No.
Ronda
'Cause
Rousey.
Ronda Rousey lost, and then she went fucking MIA for like a year and a half. She didn't even stay for like a post interview or nothing. And then she came back, did a rematch, and she didn't do no press or nothing once again. She never wanted to face the music of all this shit that she talked. She didn't like losing. She didn't take it like a champion, in my opinion. And when she lost again, she completely
champion.
fuck yeah. And when she left for good and went to WWE. That's the one moment that I gained respect for Conor when he got his ass beat by Nate Diaz the first time. He stayed there. He fucking faced the music and he was like, it is what it is. Nate's a fucking champion. It is what it is. I was not efficient with my movement, with all that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He faced the shit. And you know what? He gave him a rematch immediately afterwards. Even though he didn't give a rematch to anybody else. That fucking sucks. But he gave him a rematch. Like, let's fucking do it again. I'm ready. Let's do
On
this
the
shit.
same note of that,
That's a real champion in my eyes. That's what I'm saying. Where Ronda and him are completely different because one person left.
He's a champion.
He's a fucking champion. But one guy, one person left, and then when they came back, they didn't want to I don't want to admit anything. I'm just gonna fight. And then when they lost, all right, I'm out.
that's a question of character, and in which I'm saying that factually they're in the same part of their career where it's like they have the same record loss coming back. So like, the point I was trying to make is that I feel like to come back and lose again, like he would tarnish his legacy.
If right now,
If he came back. And here's the thing. Dana White says, we're gonna talk sit down face to face with Conor. Conor wants fucking UFC stock. It's not gonna happen.
that's
right?
why he did that whole thing.
Yeah, and it's a power play, and that's the thing.
Well,
that
he
you
just released
he
he just released a tweet recently that said like, "I'll see you in the octagon" or whatever.
Dude, I want to see you in the octagon.
Dude, you can get me anytime, anywhere, any place.
All right. I mean,
Naked only.
lots of oil. I think the one thing that I think Dana was saying is like we're gonna have a face-to-face conversation, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna make him an offer. It's like there's gonna be something we can give Conor that he's gonna admit is 100% worth it.
But he's
Would
making
you-
so much money in other.
With his whiskey, with his everything.
Yeah.
Those whiskey commercials are they're not my favorite.
Really, I thought they were funny.
Did
no,
you?
but like
Where
the
he's like,
thing
I
is
got
like
10 seconds to tell you
'cause-
about.
that was the
12.
funniest one. Yes,
He's like,
that's my favorite one of all.
think
of them.
about if he goes and does another fight and he gets messed up, like the sales are gonna drop on his stuff.
Whiskey.
Like he's a popular person.
No one's gonna buy the whiskey if he loses again. Is what you're
Yeah.
saying. But
Sales are gonna drop.
how much will the whiskey jump if he wins? Here's the thing. I have this thing in my brain, and I planned
like
it out.
tumor?
It's a AIDS tumor.
Oh.
It's
that was
super.
possible.
It's the first one in history. And this is the fundraiser. This is how I'm going to start my fundraiser. I need everyone go fund me to make me survive this. Shut up. I literally have this thing I planned out in my brain where I was thinking about it time and time again about what can Dana White offer Conor McGregor that's going to give him pay-per-view buys to make the money that Conor McGregor wants to make that he could never make on an undercard. Because now the UFC's pay-per-views have to be title fights, right? He's going to break. Dana White will break, right? He will break on the one thing that I thought he was very settled on not breaking. He's going to break the weight divisions up. And he's going to go, he's going to he's finally going to split up, make another weight division and do 165, right? And bring Conor back with Nate Diaz for the title shot for the 165, right?
Cool. And then the fighter wins, or the winner fights either the winner of Dustin Poirier and.
For the champ,
Max
because now
Holloway.
the champ fights. That's what.
But then where does Khabib come into all that shit too?
He's still the 155 champion. He never loses his title, and he has to fight Holloway or Poirier for 155. And at 165, you have either a win-win situation. Conor McGregor might lose on this one, but you know he's going to come back and fight someone who's fought 2 times before.
I want to see him fight Nate Diaz. That's a fight that I want to see.
That's the most requested fight out there. So you get
That one
Nate
and Max Holloway. For me, I will really want to see Max Holloway more than Nate Diaz.
versus Conor.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I think
really?
Max Holloway destroys him this time.
Oh, guaranteed. I mean, that whole back and back with him. It's like when he beat Holloway the first time, it was like
He was a kid.
he was a kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, the history. There was a really, really great video I was watching. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out next time, but give him a shout out. But this guy that does like 10 facts of this or 10 best fights of this. He's doing great videos. I watch him all the time. But he was 10 crazy facts about Max Holloway. Is that like Max Holloway's been fighting since forever. Like he was fighting with 16, 17 years old, like full blown fights. Like he's a bred fighter from an area that's notoriously drug ridden and like. To be honest, it's like they breed nothing but like in that sense, like very, very great Hawaiian pride out of that. And I feel like for him to grab a Holloway now in his prime, well, how old is Holloway? 27?
I don't know.
Younger
1
than me.
million years old.
Yeah. And come and fight him. I think it's gonna be an amazing fight. Like for him to fight him now and have Conor have experienced what he has, and I don't know, get like essentially like a 5-round. It's either going to be a knockout or it's going to be an insane amount of fucking violence in 5 rounds. It's going to be amazing.
I
Yeah.
love violence.
But that's the offer that I feel like they can get him a pay-per-view draw, a title, right? The platform to become a world champion again, which is what Conor wants. That might bring him back in.
And he could retire.
I
on
get
that,
out,
too.
and just when I think I'm off, they drag me back in.
He could retire on that too, and just like, all right, I'm staying off.
I'm a champ
until this-
again.
Yeah.
Off the Nate fight, which honestly, I love the Diaz brothers, but what's gonna draw those guys back into a fight? It's gonna be money, like
Money.
money.
Cold, hard cash.
Yeah, and or like when the moment that they told me that Nick was gonna fight Masvidal.
Wait, you say Nate or Nick?
Nick.
Yeah, Nick. Yeah.
I don't know. Nick's been out of the game longer, so I'm more excited to see him. But Nate, imagine a Masvidal. Like Masvidal goes.
He's gonna fight Ben Askren now, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, what if he fought for the ones? What it's 170? What if he fought for the welterweight afterwards and won it? And then it was like a double championship fight, like Diaz brothers versus Conor and Masvidal. That's the shit talking, dude. That fucking conference room.
3-piece with the soda.
The 3-piece of the soda, dude. That conference room would be lit. People would be fighting each other left and right. They probably wouldn't even fight because they would just kick each other's asses in the fucking conference room.
Yo, we're fighting right here, right now.
Right now, boy.
Leon Edwards walks in. He's like, "Ow!"
And it is what it is. But I mean, let's wrap this thing up, boys.
Yeah.
So you didn't even give me your prediction for the fucking winners of the next one.
Of which one? Oh, we're gonna do that next week, man.
Oh, we're gonna do that next week.
Yeah. Sorry, next Thursday we're gonna be right before the fights.
No
I'm gonna
way.
do some more research.
Nah, no mames.
I don't take any of your bets back then after you cheat.
You already lost the last bet, so.
Fight.
Hot wax.
That's my weakness.
No, it's like, dude, it's like, just pass this on to Jose.
Oh yeah.
I'll give this to Jose. It's like, give this to David. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? But yeah, so that was the show. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna actually start uploading on Friday nights rather than on Thursdays, just because like I'm up way too late doing this. So I'm actually gonna take the time and actually do the timestamps in the description. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We're also going to be trying to find new avenues on which to upload our podcast now that we got audio perfected.
Twitch, holla at me, yow.
Yeah, I will also drop our Twitch descriptions. But yeah, thanks for watching the SNP podcast. See you guys later.
Yeah.
there'd still be music left to write. Oh, that's what I knew. That hasn't happened for the longest time.
Virgin.
Whoa.
Dicks inside your mouth.
Whoa. For the longest time.